Hi guys, for another weekly review. Today I have a box here that I took out of my storage, and on the box itself it says jokes from a time long gone, old stuff. The date on it is 5/9/1996. So I haven't looked at this box, so let's open it up and start our immediate review. Now everything in this box is probably random, so let's start. Well, over here we start with an Amscan Halloween display. It looks pretty good. This is now from 1996, so here it is. Let's see what else is in here. Oh, two knights in shining armor. Interesting. They're wooden bottom. It says made in Hong Kong, so they're probably from the 80s, I guess. I know I had them at one time in my store. I wasn't selling them. It's just stuff. Like I said, the box is all random. So let's see what surprises we have. Oh, this I must have thrown in. This was a book I was putting out with Acme House Novelties under David Haversat. It's called The Magic of Hypnotism. You will get this when you purchase the 25 Lessons in Hypnotism, the coin, the Hypno coin. So that's new. I must have slipped that in the box. Anyway. This is when the book Mail Order Mysteries came out. If you were at the signing, and the Jacob Javits once it debuted it in 2011. Now the box is 1996, so I noticed that there's a few items in here from later on. This one is you will get two pins. Those are the pins that you will get free when you purchase the book. So that's there. Okay, here we go. Here they look more like a little older now. This here is the laser pistol plans. These plans were sold by the Johnson Smith Company in the 1960s, 70s, 80s. It's sold for some time, and it's a pretty good book. The reason I liked it when I was younger is because it reminded me of the Lost in Space Spacer laser gun, the one Will Robinson would use with the robot. So I really liked this plans, and I sent away for it. Let's see what else we can find here. Okay, here we go. Here is the granddaddy of all the mail order companies. Vic Lawston. It was also called The House of a Thousand Mysteries. Now, the stories that I've told about this mail order company is that a lot of the mail order companies from the 70s or 60s, 70s, and 80s would take a lot of the artwork from this guy. So when you see the American Circle Corp, where they have the guy hypnotizing the girl with the stars in the background, I'm going through here real quick to see if I can see it here, so you could see it's the exact same artwork. So this company, being older, told me that, you know, most of the stuff that other mail order companies in the comic book era took are from this catalog. Okay, like here's an example, Flowers from Fingertips. You would see that a lot of times in the Johnson Smith catalog, and you would see it in a, let me see if I can show it. It's the one right here. You can notice the art from it, and this guy actually I heard from Dave Haversat, who knows his son, and I think they said that he used to draw everything by hand, so he was a great artist and stuff. This is also the company that sold You Can Walk. Here you go. Very famous American Circle Abracadabra Magic Shop. Always sold this one. You can walk through a solid steel wall. You see, it's the same artwork. And like I said, some of this artwork came with the products themselves. But this particular catalog, and now I can't seem to find the oh, here you go. This is the ad I'm talking about, but here it actually, you see a man. In this same catalog, you'll also see the one with the woman, which is kind of interesting because over here it says Hypnotism by Request, and then the other one is 25 Lessons in Hypnotism. That's the one that has the woman on it. It should be here in these. Well, can't seem to find it. Interesting. I'm looking through it real quick. But anyway, let's keep going through the box because but I just want to show you. See, it is the same guy in the background there. See, I don't know if you can try to see that. But anyway, and then here's Vic Lawson. That's him in the front there. He always used to write a letter in the beginning and, and tell the world all the new magic stuff he was coming and all the stuff he was selling. Now, going back in here, okay, here we go. In the 1980s, when wrestling became very popular and comic book kind of faded out for a while, not faded out, but I'm saying the popularity of WWF, several mail order companies came back into being again. And one of those mail order companies was called, I believe, Brad's Fun Shop. Not I believe, it was called Brad's Fun Shop. And then later they changed it to ATH Company. And they were located, I think, in Strasbourg, PA. But they didn't have the secret book safe. So what they did is that they actually opted making a booklet on how to make the secret book safe. And this is the instruction on how to build the secret book safe. Again, another laser pistol plan in here. Interesting. Let's see what else is in here. Okay. Now, this book here is probably my favorite, and I sold it in my magic shop. So it was by Philip Morris and Dennis Phillips. It's called the book that tells you everything on how to operate a financially successful haunted house. This is the #1 book. The artwork in this book is phenomenal. I think it's the best one they've ever did when it came to showing you how to do props and stuff for a haunted house or for a show. But the best thing about this book, honestly, is the artwork. Look at that artwork. It's phenomenal. Even the front of the page, if you can see it there. Look how nice it is. Now, this book has been republished a couple of times by different people. It's actually the same company, but they republished it. I think one guy got permission from Philip Morris to publish it. But this is an older cover. The original cover, I think, was orange, which I have it. I have it somewhere, but I know the one I used to sell in my store was this one. This is obviously one of the books. It's a little worn out because, like I said, I had a fire in 1996 and 95 actually. This box is around that time, so I'm surprised there's no smell of it. Anyway, I always used to buy a lot of stuff, and I could see here's one of those stuffs I bought that I don't know the reason and purpose behind it, but it was fun, I guess. And this is a squirrel call. So I have in here a squirrel call. I didn't sell it in my store. I know Johnson Smith used to sell them, so anyway, it's still in the box here. It's a little roughed up, but here's a squirrel call. Let's see what other more novelties are here. Oh, look at this one. Another, and I'm going to get something to describe. When I spoke last week of the Pointer products, and I showed one bank, if you remember, and if you could look at the video again, if you look at it, you'll notice it was a lot bigger than this one. When the Addams Family Thing movie came out, the new Addams Family Thing, they put out Pointer Products, which was still in business, put out this bank. It says Addams Family Thing Bank. So this is the way the bank is supposed to work. Here's a quarter. So you put it there. It's a beautiful bank, but this is the Addams Family. Now this bank, because it does have the Addams Family on it, sometimes they can go for anywhere from $50 to $100 depending the time of the year and stuff. But the ones that say Addams Family Thing, now I do have, I don't know, about 18 or 20 left because I used to sell them in my shop. So I do have a couple. Now this one I didn't even know I had here, but like again, this says 1996 on the box. This is probably 89, 90 when it came out. And that's the Addams Family Thing Bank from Pointer Products. Oh, originally Honor House, American Circle, mostly Honor House I think sold it, and Johnson Smith. They had the see behind glasses. Well, this is an early version of the ones I used to sell in my magic shop. This see behind glasses, I kind of look, they look kind of dumb because they're squarish, but when you look on the side here, you're not going to be able to tell, but there's an actual mirror, so you can actually see the people behind you. Now, as time went on, they did make them better, where they were kind of rounded, like regular glasses, like aviator glasses. This one's here, they're pretty, but they kind of come out a little to the side. But it has a mirror that it lets you see behind, so this was very popular. Just like the X-ray glasses, I think it was most of the time it was Johnson Smith in their Johnson Smith catalogs that sold them, but on occasions Honor House sold them as well. Oh, look at this. Here's an item that, oh my gosh. I first came across this item when I was in fourth grade. Some kid had it in school and the kid showed it to people, but he showed it to me and everything, but he didn't let us really look at it. I've been selling this probably, oh my gosh, for the last 40 years. It's the treasure map. Now, if you guys are familiar with the video that I did, it was a podcast that me and Joe and Todd Mitchin did with Alan. Alan was one of the, Dave Allen was actually one of the original divers for the Mel Fisher Atocha Gold, where they raised 36 tons of gold and silver from off the coast of Florida. According to what David Allen says and if you guys want to watch it, you can go to the YouTube channel, and it was actually broadcast live, and you're going to notice that he was saying that Mel Fisher actually used this map as a guide to see where the ship had sank. So this map is it's a really nice piece. It's printed in an old parchment. I still actually sell it on eBay and stuff. So if anybody's interested, you can get a copy there. Awesome product. I love that map. Oh, okay. I see that the envelope is here by itself, but this used to be, these are envelopes for potato chips. And this potato chip, what it is you put it has inside a ball with a raccoon. A ball with a raccoon's tail. And you would put batteries and you stick it inside the raccoon tail, and then, it would spin around, look like the raccoon was hitting the chips. I don't know where the bag is here. I don't see the ball, but it's brand new, so this is probably, I put them here for some reason, and maybe the ball's located elsewhere, because I used to sell them in the magic shop back then. Oh, okay. Here, wow. When I started in mail order, one of my favorite ads, I was trying to do some letterheads and stuff, and I used this template over here. Wow. It's a pretty cool template. It says, we can't keep the lid on this a minute longer. But I was kind of using this template to try to write some ads and stuff. But oh, okay. As I said to you guys, in the 1980s, DC Comics was the last time, or the last company that ran any mail order items or mail order ads in comic books was the company Fun Factory, which was owned by me and at the time Lou Weiss. Lou Weiss was the original owner of the Fun Factory in the 1970s, and I was able to meet up with him, and we started together. And then later, of course, it became, as I said, House of the Unusual. But here's a copy of the ad from the comic books. See, it says Fun Factory. Now you can tell when it's my ad because it came out in It came out in the issue of 93, February of 93, that went on sale December of 92. So any issue that says February 1993, it usually has a Christmas theme on it, like Superman and Bat. You'll see this ad inside. Some have colors, but you can tell it's my ad because it'll have the 7-foot ghost in the bottom, you see? Because I made sure that that's 7-foot ghost. And here's the, as I had said earlier, the guy hypnotizing the girl there for the Hypnocoin. I try to keep the same product from the time. I was noticing in the box now a very interesting item. When in 1985, I think it was 84, right before I met Harold Vanbrugh from the Transscience Corporation, they're the ones that make the X-ray glasses, I had attended a toy trade show in Jacob Javits. It was called the International Toy Trade Show. And I went to the building, which was a toy building. You had to leave the Jacob Javits and you would go over to the toy building, which was, I believe, 200 Fifth Avenue. And I came, as I got off on one of the floors, that's where I actually met Harold and Yolanda. And I remember Harold, I saw the X-ray glasses, the Atom there, and behind a glass thing. And I go, wow, you guys sell the X-ray glasses? He goes, no, we made them. So when I told him I was into mail order and stuff, he goes, sit down, pulled out a chair, and probably for the next hour or two, a little bit more than that, I think, he was telling me the history of how he, you know, had started the sea monkeys and all this stuff. But anyway, in one of the floors, I came across the original Aurora kits. They had been introduced for the first time since back in the 70s, and they were introduced at the time as the Illuminators. Now, the reason I'm saying the story now is because I noticed as I looked in the box that here are some of the boxes they came in. Now, I have the Illuminators. I know I still have a couple of sets that are sealed, but I think I had also built them. And I have here the Frankenstein. You see, it's the same Aurora ones, but you know, with the special illuminator things. I'm not sure how much they sell for today, if anybody, but probably for over $100, I'm sure. And here they have of course, the Dracula. Okay, I think this is the first time they were introduced since the original 1960s, 70s release. Here you have the Wolfman, and here you have the Mummy. Okay. Now, okay, all these boxes, obviously, you can tell, like I said, that they were kind of in a fire, because if you see this discoloration in the back there, and you can see a slight warpness. Like I said, I had a big fire in my facility back in 1995, and I think this is part of what I call casualties of war. And this is the bottom of the box here. But if you guys look, it's got a couple staining and stuff. But anyway, I also noticed here, these are the instructions. Now, unlike the instructions that came in the original Aurora kits, those instructions, like, you know, a 2-page 11 by 17 folded, these were like miniature versions of those. But anyway, here's the Dracula, here's the Frankenstein, and here's the Mummy. And then it had a Illuminator special offer where you could send away, I guess, for a black light, because they really look wonderful under black light. And that's when I remember seeing them in the toy building, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the Dracula I bought as a kid, you know. Again, this was earlier, before 85, because I started my my business in 1985. So this must have been 84, I think it was, September of 84, when they had the International Toy Trade Show. And this was in the Jacob Javits.
Welcome, all you cool ghouls and friendly fiends, to the House of the Unusual. Join the maestro of mail order mysteries, Eddie Guevara, and Joe Pavlasky from Crypt of Classics, as they take you on a journey of magic, mystery, and vintage pop culture. With them is world-renowned horror magician Chuck Caputo and his exclusive line of horror magic kits, only available here. Join in the weekly podcast and hear from industry-leading guests and collectors alike. Subscribe to the YouTube channel for amazing videos. If that weren't enough, visit houseoftheunusual.com and connect on the free forum.